Okay, I'd like to start the meeting of the Public Safety Committee for the City of San Clemente for May 28th. Thank you. Calling it to order. Mark, would you mind doing the Pledge of Allegiance for us? Thank you. Please stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. Can we have the roll call, please?
Chief Rod Mullah,
Here.
Chief Shane Mull,
Not here.
Captain Jay Christian,
Present. Motion.
Chair Nick Bercuda,
Here.
Vice Chair Michael Greenwald,
Here.
Mark Roden,
Here.
Scotland Roper, and Gary Walsh.
Okay.
And just a reminder, I will be leaving early today at around 3:45.
How will we get along without you? That's not nice.
Okay, thank you. Special orders of business and presentations, I see none, unless somebody has something. So, yeah, thank you. Let's look at the minutes from the April 23rd meeting, please. In your packet,
They look good to me.
take a look.
I move to approve.
I second.
All right, moved and seconded. Minutes of the April 23rd. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, good. Any oral or written communications we have to deal with, Danielle?
No.
I'm aware of, okay, good. All right, let's get into performance measures. Jay, will you help us out with that?
Sure.
Okay.
So you're looking at quarter two, which is October, November, December of last year. You got questions, shoot them out there. I mean, you got the numbers in front of you. Pretty consistent across the board when it comes to priority calls received. Same with the collisions reported. Pretty similar with the Group A crimes. Use of forces were pretty low over the quarter. Number of arrests seemed to go up just a little bit in November and December, as opposed to October. Parking citations, you can see a steady increase from October to November to December there. Same with the moving violations. A lot of times you'll see when we have low numbers, it's often we have either our motors are out on vacation or a training. So my guess is that November, December looks like we had them here for the most part of November, maybe some vacation in December as well. So you kind of see a dip there, but that's usually the reason behind the dip in numbers there. Yeah, I mean, pretty consistent across the board with Group A, Group B crimes. Our priority call response looks like it went up a little bit in December, but still for the quarter, we're still below the 5-minute mark, which is what we shoot for. So, and then again, I've got the what I'd like to see is a new presentation, which is basically the same information, just more in a picture form, easier to look at. You can see our total calls for service for the quarter was 5,832. The same information with the Group A, Group B crimes there. And then a picture graph with the number of arrests and what type of arrests they were for the quarter, along with the response times. Got the community involvement box there, so we had one neighborhood watch meeting during that quarter. The home security assessments is what Ryan does. He'll go out during those neighborhood watch or before or after, kind of do some home assessments, try to harden the home. 11 special community events, And that's any type of community involvement, whether it's something that we do with the school or otherwise out in the public. Over 1,000 hours of volunteer hours at the Pact House down by the pier. And you can see our total number of citations up to the right there in that graph. And I'll take any question you may have.
Chief,
Michael?
You've been around long enough. If you equate what we're seeing here to the old numbers, okay, before they recategorized everything, how are we doing?
I think we're doing great in San Clemente. You're talking about the part one.
Yeah, all the
ECR.
reclassifications.
Yeah, it's just the way it's reported. So the numbers just look different, but again, you've got over 71 crimes in the Group A now, to where the part one was just 8 major crimes. And they all get counted. For one incident, it's not just one crime, it's however many crimes that you had in an incident gets factored into the new reporting. So the numbers look like they're up. But I'll tell you, just looking at the calls for service last year, where we had less calls for service, and the number of arrests were down for this 2023 than we saw in the previous 5 years. So.
Okay. And burglaries, are they up or down, or?
This month, they were up last month for April. Have that with me. Yeah, I think we had 9 burglaries. I believe that was in March, excuse me. In March we had 9 burglaries, and we were back down in April to about 5, I believe.
And are they spread around town, or are they mainly Talega, or?
No, there's a good spread. I mean, Talega gets a few. We've had a few down on the south end of town, and then some even on the beach side. But I think you're probably inquiring about the sophisticated home burglaries. We've seen a couple over the last couple of months. Not enough to say it's trending one way or the other, just that it has been sporadic. And again, that's not something that's unique to San Clemente. That's happening nationwide.
Good deal. And also, I gotta tell you, I see your volunteers out on Del Mar all the time, and it's great. You're right, parking tickets and.
Yeah, they provide a great service to not only San Clemente Police Services, but to the community as far as doing what they leave us, 10-8 to handle calls while they're out issuing citations, fixing some of those parking problems we have. And I think last year it was about $80,000 in savings to have them out there.
Great deal. And I just stood for a minute and watched them interact with some people that they're writing tickets, and they were really, really good at it. So, you're lucky you got the ticket. And okay. So thank you very much.
Sure.
Can I follow up with the RSVP program? Remember during COVID, they shut that sucker down. And a lot of these groups lost interest in participating. And they were worried about the RSVP guys coming back. What's the member count now versus prior to COVID?
I know we have 23 on the books now. I think pre-COVID it was over 30. I'm not sure the exact number it was. I wasn't here then, but yeah, definitely down. And then even with the 23, I don't know that all of them are involved. It's typically the same people that keep coming out and volunteering their time.
Sure.
So probably somewhere in the area of 17 or so that are regularly out there.
They have dedicated people. And are they recruiting?
Maybe in the city?
Or the sheriff's department or anyone else?
Yeah, I mean, I try to get the word out whenever I can. Had the San Clemente leadership last week, did a nice presentation. Included the RSVP as one of the slides and try to get the word out there. And I know Ryan does the same thing at neighborhood watch meetings as well. And anytime we're at a community event, which we're just starting to get into our busy season, we'll get a pop-up or something, command post, we'll spread the word.
Yeah.
Those facilities.
Well, since it benefit, we ought to be, getting the word out at least through this vehicle. People listening in on the public safety committee meetings. That we do need to recruit more people, be involved. That's another way to be involved in the community,
Absolutely.
They probably self-recruit too, right?
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I have a technical question for you.
What you got?
Looking at part A, or group A and group B. I'm used to the old part 1, part 2 type stuff. And usually, there aren't as many part 1 as part 2. Okay, now this is reversed.
Yeah, like I said, so Group A houses 71 different offenses now, whereas Part 1 was just 8. So you're getting all those extra crimes that are being included in Part A. So it's actually easier to say, I'll give you a rundown of what Group B is. It's basically your disorderly conduct stuff. So it's curfew, disorderly conduct, drinking, driving under the influence, family offenses, liquor law violations, trespass, failure to appear, and perjury. There you go. That's it. So everything else is,
No larceny?
that's all included in Group A now. That's why that number was.
Oh, okay.
So
See, like I said, I'm familiar with the other way. Wow. So, okay, one more clarification. If you got a burglary that involves a murder and theft and all that, are they all individual things, or is it one particular crime?
Yeah, so under the old UCR, just the murder would be counted.
Okay.
And now each crime will be counted for that. Up to, I think, 10 offenses.
Yeah, okay. So the stats would jump right out then?
Right, that's why it looks like when you're looking at these numbers, if we were to look at Part 1 in prior years, they would probably be a lot lower than, say in October, we had 237 Group A crimes. It would have been a lot lower looking at the old UCR reporting for crimes.
I think at this point, it makes the most sense just to compare quarter to quarter and year to year since the change.
Yeah.
Because it would be like beating your head against the wall trying to extrapolate the difference between UCR 1s and 2s. You know, just the simple fact that they count up to 10 is cuckoo bananas. That's a technical term, by the way, cuckoo bananas.
Thank you very much, yeah. And how long has this Part A and Part B been in existence?
2021.
21.
Right after COVID.
So we do have some yearly comparisons,
We do.
I think. Okay. Okay, good. Any other questions from the committee?
What was, yeah, just if you know, I don't want to blindside you on this. So 66 felony arrests, so that almost 37%, that's quite a bit. Any idea what bulk of the felony arrests were, roughly?
I don't know what they were all for.
No, I mean, like, what do you think is the most common drugs, or? That's
No, because most of the drugs are misdemeanors and typically citations, so it'd be hard to surmise. but
Okay, fair
I
enough.
really don't want to give the answer to that.
Yeah.
But
No problem. Or whatever it is, that's
I would imagine some of it, you know, we had our operation on the outlets where we had, we were looking for organized retail theft, so probably, at least, I know we made at least 20-something arrests, so 20 of those in December alone were for 498.4, which is the organized retail theft, which is a felony. So that's quite a big chunk there, actually.
It's a third of it, yeah. And that's a task force, right?
You can call it that. It was just something we put together with our trip team, some extra patrol guys and our investigators. And we just had them go down and proactively look for these guys going in there and committing these, you know, I won't call them smashing grabs, they're no smashing, but definitely grabbing of merchandise, putting it in their bags, going out to the car, dropping it off, going back into the stores and committing the same act over and over.
Did I hear correctly, or am I making this up in my head? Is the DA's office doing vertical prosecution on those now?
They are.
They are, okay.
They are.
All right.
They were specific for what we were doing, vertical. So I don't know if everything's being vertical,
Yeah.
but definitely for our operation we did, we had a vertical DA prosecute all of them, which was great.
Yeah, that's all. Anytime you do vertical prosecution, that's the best way to go. All right.
Okay, all right. Hold on. What's vertical prosecution?
The DA that charges carries it all the way up.
Good.
Instead of a tree, it's a straight line.
Good.
That's, yeah, sorry.
So they knew of each case that was coming from San Clemente specifically. For example, the first case that was presented before the judge, the defense was trying hard just to, let's sign a plea deal for, misdemeanor theft to be done with it. The DA, because he was a verbal DA, said, Judge, this is one of 4 cases you're gonna see from San Clemente today alone. There's a lot more behind the scenes here, which was very interesting to the judge. So that plea deal didn't happen. So
Great.
they were able to look at what was really going on here. It's not just a misdemeanor theft. This is organized retail crime. So it was definitely beneficial to have verbally.
Yeah, because when the files get handed out, like they do normal cases, oh, it's your turn, it's your turn, it's your turn, and they don't go to court on the same day, the left hand doesn't know what the right foot's doing, so it's just kind of like,
Gotcha.
I think that's great.
That helps. It helps help the,
You know, we
People are
have
listening
neighborhood
in.
prosecutors that basically the same thing.
Right.
clearly it's reduced crime in LA.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, right, got it.
If you let the cops do their job, it will reduce crime. I'm
All
sorry.
Moving right along.
Can I
Yes.
make a motion or a suggestion that we talk to Danielle, see if she has anything before we lose her?
I think that might be appropriate. Yeah. Do you have anything?
I don't have anything.
No park police?
No park police, no, we don't have anything to report to you guys today. I know Rod's got his stuff, but no, nothing.
Can I ask, did we ever do our walkthrough on the massage parlors?
Yeah, we discussed that last meeting. We had completed those and,
How did I miss that? I'm sorry.
oh, it's okay. You had asked me, we only have 5 that are fully operating and they all were fine. Next time we do the inspections, we want to get the ones that do accessories. So they're like a nail salon, but they also offer like a massage therapist. So we'll get those in the next quarter.
Are we following up at all on hotels?
We are not involved in hotels. We don't have anything for that type of inspection.
Okay,
Be more on the task force or the
Okay.
work.
all right. Thank you.
Good.
Are any of those massage parlor, are they complaint driven? Have we been receiving?
No, we do a twice a year inspection. It's in our municipal code and just kind of so most cities, they do it once or twice yearly, depending on the municipal code. It's a good thing to do, and also because the state that is Camtech, they have like 1 or 2 representatives per region, so they're not going to be going out and doing those. Yeah, it's pretty typical to do them twice a year.
And in your time with the city, have we received many complaints of nefarious activity at the massage parlor?
No, we haven't. I can think of one complaint that was this massage parlor was opening too early, and we found no evidence that it was opening before, I think it was 10 a.m.
All right, fair enough, thank you.
Is that a city ordinance? It has to be 10 o'clock, or is that just their posted hours?
I think it was their posted hours. I'd have to look in the code. Each place is a little different. I know in a previous city, no massage establishments could be open past 10 p.m. Yeah, I don't think there's anything necessarily to opening earlier, but I could look.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't sound
Yeah.
like it's a biggie. That's
Yeah, it's pretty minor.
Okay.
Anything we can do for you, Danielle, or?
No, I'm doing great. But
Thank
thank you. I appreciate you asking.
Good job.
Sorry, Rod.
No, you're all good.
All right, then we're going to call on our marine safety for your performance report.
All right, well, second quarter is kind of winding down from a busy summer season. So you can see as attendance starts to tailor off in October to December. For the quarter, it's just over 500,000. Rescues pretty much on average for this quarter. And so rescues, I'll just explain that again. If a lifeguard goes out and physically brings someone in, takes a buoy and brings them in. Preventative actions, As you can see, October a little bit busier as we move into November, December. It goes down a little bit lower. Public education contacts, same kind of deal. And then number of drownings. Happy to report 0 drownings, visitors per hour on par. And yeah, I mean, if you guys have any questions, it's pretty standard on performance measures.
How do you like your new beach?
It's great. I mean, the sand's amazing. It brings some challenges, but good challenges, for us. Having to move the towers out so the guards working the towers can see the water effectively. On the north side of the pier, it's like a football-sized field of new sand. So, no, it's great. It's great for the community and everyone to enjoy for the summer season.
Tell us what happened yesterday.
Yesterday?
Yeah, something about a shark thing.
Yeah, we had on Monday evening, just before 8 o'clock, a report of a surfer out in the water, front of Tower 5, and got bumped by a shark, and came in, reported it. A couple pressure marks on his board, and cleared the water. And then, we just follow our protocol and follow the algorithm and determine what action we take. That's up and down the coast that uses the same. Our lieutenant contact the watch commander for that day just to make sure the story was correct, and go to the surf line and look at the tape to see if you could see anything. Also talk to the white expert, Dr. Chris Lowe, for his input as well. So the decision was made. Unfortunately, it's a Memorial Day, kick off this summer week, and it's actually our National Beach Safety Week, which started the Monday before through that day, and we have a water closure. That was a little bit challenging in the beginning, but for the most part, it was that was done. But more of a media frenzy, they jump on that as a call and want a story and whatnot. But so we moved into an advisory mode for today, and after 24 hours without any further sightings, then we'll drop that. But the water was reopened again yesterday at 8 p.m.
Do they use drones to look?
Yeah, we'll put up a drone, but when it happened, it was right at dusk.
Oh.
So you can't put up a drone, but a drone was put up multiple times throughout the day the next day. Yeah. And today.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, you got a lot of publicity, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Wow. Must have been a slow news day,
A few helicopters flying
Yeah.
around.
If it bites, it leads.
How about the junior lifeguard program? How's that going? You already had some signups going on.
Yeah, the signups were April 24th. We had that new registration policy. April 24th was for returning residents and their siblings new. And then April 25th was for returning non-residents and new residents. And then April 26th was for open registration for everyone. So the program is, we have a new coordinator. Program starts on June 10th. And then, it's 3 weeks long. It's Monday through Wednesday. You can do 9 to 12 or you can do 1 to 4.
Good.
Session,
Is it, so far, it's still pretty popular.
Oh, 100%, yeah. Yeah.
Sold out.
Pretty much. I mean, we have some openings in the third session. Kind of had to reduce some of the numbers in the first session just due to availability of lifeguards being around. A lot of them go to UC schools or Cal Poly, which won't be back until June 21st. And then we have some kids that are local, that seniors, and they go on senior trips and whatnot. So we had to reduce a few instructors for first session.
The trash enclosure behind your office, is it covered now?
The sill framework is up. The roof is up. The doors still need to be replaced. The fencing on the backside needs to be replaced. As I was driving out to go to this meeting, the contractor was driving in. The steel doors that are in front, they need to be replaced, and a few other touches need to be done. But no, the 40-yard bin is still being used, so it's not complete.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see that. You got the restrooms looking good, and you got the other stuff. It'd be nice to get the whole beach looking good. Any word on the Mariposa Bridge? I understand there's somebody's federal government was interested in donating some money to complete the bridge or replace it.
I believe Councilmember Meyer had mentioned that there's potential money that he's pursuing.
Okay.
I don't want him to speak at it. If it was 10 million or something like that. He said it was too soon to say, but it looked like it was promising. I haven't heard any news in the short term of when that will be replaced. It's probably depending financially of getting money and where the city stands with their financing of the project.
Money's a big one.
Yeah.
From what I understand, the two spans that were removed have been trashed.
Yeah, they were removed before they put the wall up, yeah. By railroad, you could see it going by different sections.
Yeah, I'd like to get back on the trail myself.
Yeah,
It's a
well,
nice
you can
thing.
bypass. You can go up Portela, you go on the back streets, and then drop down at Mariposa.
Yeah, but it's not as a scenic.
No, I agree.
You know, especially in high tide, you don't want to be walking the beach and
Yeah,
it's kind of close to the rocks.
and if you have a dog, you can.
No, don't want it. Oh, man. Great. Any other interesting things that you've got? You're staffing well, or are you still recruiting, or how's that working?
So you want me to give you the updates for marine safety right now?
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
Let me just.
We're done with performance reviews? Is that performance measures?
What's that?
Are we done with performance measures?
I guess so.
Are we moving on past this agenda item?
Did you?
Well, what I need to
I
do,
mean-
I'm kind of treading water right now, because Adams will be coming in anytime, and I need a report from him, and
Just so to kind of follow the agenda a little bit, unless you guys want to make a motion to change the
I can't.
order of it,
I mean,
it's fine.
She asked if you want to make a,
If you guys want to change the order, that's fine, but,
well,
I mean, we're waiting for
We can go ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
work through the unfinished.
it's really,
That's it.
Can we just work through the unfinished?
Yeah, let's just hold off for a second.
Oh,
Go
okay.
from there. Okay. So we'll go through the work plan information, and then we'll catch you right at the end. Okay. All right, we're into annual work plan, subcommittee stuff. Communication is the disaster preparedness project. That was, I'm gonna hold off on that because Adam's gonna report on some of that. So I'm gonna move to the homeless and best practices for public safety personnel. Anybody have any report on that one? Gary's not here, but Mark, do you have anything?
I have nothing.
Okay. I think, yeah, the last one was I think it was the last city council meeting, they were talking about the point in time count. And they were scratching their heads with it, saying, how did they come up with that? So they're backtracking with the county on that, because the numbers didn't jive with the current numbers that we have with our in-house people.
Because the county said around 20, correct? What did the county say?
53,
And in-house said 20-ish.
yeah. And so, city managers is in correspondence with the county on that, find out what their reporting practices and how they handle it and all, because it's completely different.
Well, in a weird way, I mean, having 20 is better for us than having 53. But with the passage of that law on April 1st, or was it April 1st? No, at the new year, where the state controls the homelessness money,
Prop one.
doesn't the county giving us 53 benefit us financially?
I think the county has that.
No, I know, but
Yeah, but unfortunately, skews the numbers. What's the right number though?
Well, I agree with you, but as long as our guys, our deputies and stuff are on it, on task, and they think it's around 20 and they're dealing with the 20 and aren't seeing a grotesque number of others, then I don't see an issue with the county being wrong. If we're saying the county is wrong and we're right, what's the issue with the county being wrong? The only side effect would be a positive for us is
Yeah,
if they
we get more
hand
money.
out money, they're gonna give us more money, so let them be wrong.
If we're the recipients.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other-
Now, if we were saying we have 100 and they only give us credit for 40, then that would be an issue, right?
Sure.
I don't see, there's time to ring the bell and there's times not to ring the bell. I don't think that's an argument we're putting too much effort into.
You know, there's other issues involved, so.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, neighborhood watch. That's another one that,
All right, we got, Ryan's up to 20 block captains, and his biggest issue right now is people sign up to be a block captain, and then they don't follow through by getting their neighbors together and reaching out to their neighbors to get a good meeting going. And so I asked Brian if there's any way I can help him, block captain by block captain, help them shepherd through or develop something that we can give them that helps them. They all want to put their hand up, but then they don't want to put their hand out and do the work. So he's really hitting a little wall there, but he's doing a great job. So that's it on neighborhood watch.
yeah, I was gonna ask, get an update from Adam regarding signage. I talked to them earlier today, and they don't have a specific number of current signs up that need to be replaced. So we're probably gonna have to do a census on that, and then figure out how many more signs we need.
Well, and here we have a city, and we have got city workers out all day long, whether they're traffic, whether they're sanitation or anything else. Why can't they just do something that they report, the signs that are out there, and then we find out pretty much where all the signs were, because I see city trucks going up and down our street all the time. And they're the eyes and ears out there, so maybe they could, the departments could help populate a number on the signs.
We just need to coordinate that.
Yeah. Well,
Coordinate this.
listen,
Yeah.
it's like herding cats, okay, but it's an idea that you can float and see if it works.
But also on that, last month, didn't Adam say there was still some issues they have to sort out regarding the topic I brought up a few months ago on we have to, who's paying to put them up, what budget is, that still has been sorted out, correct?
Well, the last meeting, as I recall, there was not a resistance to getting the signs. It's being installed on private property would have to be.
Well, it was that, and it was the issue of, we have all this work to be done. It's in addition to the work they're doing, that has to be dealt with. Yeah, coordinated.
And on public streets, okay?
Right.
Like our private streets in Wayne, it's just no problem, we'll hang them. Okay, our HOA will take care of that. We pay somebody or we do it ourselves.
Right.
Yeah, I imagine for the private streets, the person in control of property, whether it be a property management company or what have you, their point of contact, hey, do you want 9 of these signs or whatever, I'm making those numbers
Right.
up. So
Exactly.
I doubt there'll be little resistance, especially if they have the incorrect signs up now. I'm sure they'd love to have the correct signs.
Well, especially with the right phone number.
Yeah,
That would
right.
be very helpful. Yeah, okay. Human trafficking.
Okay, I've heard nothing. I reached out to Stacy Enmeyer like 3 times and haven't heard back from her. She may be on vacation or something. Just to try to find out if they're seeing anything here. And I think if they were, she probably would have reached out and let me know. But I'm following up on that.
Okay, now the question now is the placards or stickers or whatever for those inns and hotels and stuff like that. Gotta coordinate through Stacy, I guess, on who's got the training, who
Yeah.
doesn't.
Right, and then whoever on, on the county or the federal side that's gonna do these inspections, is what not.
Yeah, well, I don't know, does code enforcement have anything to do with,
Human trafficking in the hotels,
Yeah.
she just said no.
No, that's not a code enforcement type thing. We would help with any inspections if asked. We have no problem, looking at things from like an illegal construction end or substandard conditions, whether there not be smoke detectors,
This could-
habitability conditions.
okay,
But hotels are a different class of occupancy, and that is not something that we've been designated as like a,
an enforcement, or,
yeah, it's more law enforcement.
and for human trafficking in hotels, we need somebody that's gonna be able to go in to all the personnel records and identify every person that's working in that hotel and look at their records, make sure that their documentation is legal or not legal. And we're not equipped for that.
Not that, do you guys do anything like that?
No, law enforcement doesn't
Yeah,
have
but
the
maybe
reason to
you're
go in
good.
and check personnel records.
I mean, to me, maybe we get some help from Customs and Border Enforcement,
Well, that's
They have some
not,
inspectors.
so you're running in two different directions there. So, right, you have the issue with the people that work there, right? Unless the city has a code that says, you can't be formally convicted of this, that, or the other thing and work in a motel, then they would have no problem with us to check, right? And then with the state of affairs, the way things are now, you can't just, in the state of California, unless the governor changes things, we can't check people for their citizenship. So there's two prongs there that are different, that neither of them, the way things are
How
right
do
now.
we determine somebody is working there of
Well,
their own
that's-
free will and they're not being forced to work there and being held there because their documentation's in the safe and they can't get out of
Well,
there without it?
At the motels?
Yeah.
Well,
Or
to be
hotels.
honest with you, in my broad experience in human trafficking, that is not a very common form of human trafficking of hotel motel employees. You're more likely to see it in massage parlors, nail salons, factories, which we don't really have many of here, right? And then there's the 236.1, the human trafficking for sexual assault and stuff like that, which can be, that's the stuff that, the task force, county task force, DA, I don't know how it's set up here in Orange County, would need to do. There's certain types of operations you can do, like undercover operations where you see if the hotel lets you rent a room by the hour. Believe it or not, there's still places that do that, which you can't, so those are the type of things. I mean, I hear a genuine concern coming from you, but I don't think maybe the steps that you're considering are valid for the problems that you have.
I was just asking.
Yeah, I don't think checking the validity of the employees at the hotels, motels, I think that would be a gross waste of the officer's time, because it's really not an issue, and technically we can't, or they can't do it. And then the bigger issue would be if you have sex registrants working at those motels, but unless they have a certain stipulation, that in and of itself isn't going to be against the law. It'd be a kind of a red flag. I'm a sex registrant and I'm working at this hotel where families and stuff are. That's, but nothing specific.
I'm just thinking more of people that are forced to work.
Yeah, that's not, I mean, most of these small motels maybe have one or two housekeepers, right? So, I mean,
well, the other ones are, how about the people that have the in-home nannies and stuff like that, they're there forever, and stuff, so I mean, how do you check that?
I can pretty much tell you with 99.9% certainty, there's probably nothing in this room, nobody in this room that could proactively create any type of anything that would suss that out. So, you know, that's for stuff, that's for communicating with the public. Hey, have you ever noticed that your neighbor is, you know, dragging the babysitter in the garage by her hair? I mean, I'm not joking, I'm being serious like that. I've responded to calls like that. It's like, oh, and then you talk to them, it's like, oh, I've been here for 5 years, she won't give me my passport back. That's how that comes about, yeah. There's no real operation anybody can do to suss that out. It'd be like try to proactively prevent domestic violence. It's an education thing, it's not a patrol thing.
Yeah. So, it looks like we need to talk to Stacy and find out, you know, what is it that, what's the problem, how we're gonna solve that problem.
Okay, I'll keep following up with her.
Good, I sure appreciate that.
Mike, do you know maybe in working with Stacy, does the county either at the sheriff's level or do they have a vice and human trafficking task force that does
I'll
proactive?
have to ask her.
Yeah,
We have a vice unit.
but the county, right? Not just
Yeah, not here in San Clemente.
yeah.
Kind of.
And obviously, we don't want to put it out over the air about operations, but yeah. Okay.
So I'll definitely follow up on that with her. Put that in my calendar for her, I'll forget it.
Okay, e-bike safety, I passed out basically it's a press release from Channel 5, it came out today, and it'll probably, you'll see it if you pick with Channel 5. Hermosa Beach is getting serious about cracking down on electric bicycles and motorcycles, and as the summer approaches. What was interesting about this press release is in the last 2 months, they've impounded 9 electric motorcycles, and in the last month, they've issued 49 citations for e-bikes. And on top of that, Hermosa Beach, Redondo Beach and Manhattan Beach are working together as a task force to address the ongoing issues with the e-bike. You know, so we're not the only ones looking for ways of helping kids not kill themselves, basically. We did send to the city council this meeting on May 7th regarding adoption of what we recommended as far as e-bike regulations. Thank you, Mark, for helping put that together.
For putting it together.
And there are just a couple of comments on that is they wanted to add. So I'm not sure if it came back or not. I hadn't heard anything, so
Who would we ask?
Thanks,
probably,
Danielle.
You're welcome.
probably Adam. Ask him.
Oh, there he is.
I know.
So do you want to ask him?
I think I'll ask Adam something.
Hello.
Hello to you. Thank you for joining us. The question is, on May the 7th, we had that hearing, not a hearing, but it was a recommendation from our committee to the city council regarding e-bike regulations and stuff. Wasn't clear to me at that meeting, was it returned to us for more, or was it going to staff, or where does it sit right now, our recommendation?
So the recommendation was for the city council to initiate a municipal code amendment, which is going back to staff to draft and return to the city council based on the particular, I'll say, regulations or prohibitions that the Public Safety Committee wanted to put in there.
And the city council had a couple other additions they wanted to put on there too, so,
Yes.
yeah. So we're not in the loop right at this point, we're spectators.
Yes, at this point, we see the Public Safety Committee's input as as final for the time being, and the ordinance, once drafted, will go back to the city council for their ultimate approval.
All right.
Do you remember what they wanted to add to it?
Yeah. One was the bicycle, the prohibition of having a second person on, or third person on the thing. It had to be equipped for that. You know, the seat and pegs rather than a beach towel on a rack. Yeah, if they wanted to add that.
I mean, I thought I had that in there, or maybe I imagined that I put it in there and I didn't. No, what was the other one? Do you remember?
The age,
There was another one about, I think, the age of the riders.
Oh, they were concerned with that.
there are kids getting home at night, and we set 18 at a certain hour.
Or
license.
license.
Yeah.
Our license.
So it was kids that wouldn't be able to get a driver's license still being able to use their bikes at night to get back from school events and things.
Yeah, but that's the whole reason is to prohibit that. Because you have people without any,
But that was the
Yeah, okay,
conversation.
I understand.
You know, and
That was one of their concerns, so we'll for things like that, we'll probably have a couple options for the council to consider. But no, we'll draft it as close to the Public Safety Committee's recommendation as possible.
you know, they didn't ask the one about the completion of the city-approved e-bike safety course. So
they did ask that.
did not worry, you know, that was not a contentious.
Well, especially now because there's a few avenues for that, right? We've had, I think, at least 2 different people either come in or present. Like there's online courses, there's sit-down courses, and then so I think we're at the point where that's a very realistic option after the fact and before completed adjudication of it.
Yeah, and, you know, it's part of the education process on the thing, so
Good deal.
we did a good job on that one, thank you. All right, technology review, nothing other than Flock license plate reader guys. I saw started a webinar regarding, they were promoting a nighttime license plate reader. They take like 1,200 pictures of the same one, and it would, instead of a fuzzy something of a car going down the street, actually look like the car itself, because it had multiple images and they use AI to fit them all together, come up with the description of a car and a better license plate profile. I don't know if you're aware of that, Jay.
I don't have any information about it.
Okay.
That just sounds like it's updated camera
Updated.
technology.
Yeah.
It is,
Faster.
but the idea is that the technology folks, is that something that the city might consider enhancing? I don't know, you know, just to let me know.
I'll keep you posted.
I always want to help out.
Well, it's also going to be dictated by if Falk has this new technology, they stop making the old technology, and then if that's the case, you don't have a choice. You just have to buy what the new one is. Right.
How is that? Is it still viable and healthy for you, and the license plate reader program?
Again, it's constant. Yeah, it's a great tool to have for the deputies in the streets. Whether it be looking for a suspect vehicle, whether it's a stolen vehicle out on the streets right now, we're getting alerts on real time. Yeah, you name it. It's a great tool to have in the toolbox.
Good.
Very cool.
I know that's the same answer I get from the other cities that have it. They want more, you know, type thing. So good. Okay, now we're into committee reports, police services. Any more you'd like to throw on here?
During May is the Bicycle Safety Month. We had a couple of bike events at some of our local schools at Concordia and at Marblehead. San Clemente Police Services along with the city went out and did some education pieces, a little obstacle course for the kids. Went pretty well. Attendance was good. It was all voluntary. It was done after school. So we're trying to tweak this into something that we can get during school hours where you have more captive audience. Seems like the kids that did show up were the ones that probably aren't the problems that wanted to be at these events. So next year we're looking at doing something during maybe like school assemblies and hitting more of the schools with what they've done so far, just so we have that captive audience. We also had Mothers Against Drunk Driving Awards on May 9th, where Deputy Remsen was awarded, received a plaque for 61 DUI arrests in 2023. Deputy Brad Remsen, as somebody said about him, he's an FTO, and he's constantly at training. He's part of our MATE team, he's attached to our regional traffic team. So 61 DUIs is outstanding for a deputy that kind of jokes that he was probably in service 17 days last year without a trainee. I'm exaggerating, but he did a fantastic job, so it's good to see him get that award. Then we also had Deputy Cameron Griggs received an award from the Auto Theft Advisory Committee for Ford occupied stolen vehicles, which resulted in 6 arrests. So
Great deal.
those are my updates.
Thank you. Chief Ball's not here, so I'm going to go right to our marine safety.
All right. I attended the last council meeting last Tuesday. The city gave a proclamation for National Beach Safety Week, which extended, or was 2 Mondays ago through Memorial Day. It's kick off the summer and make the public aware of the dangers of the ocean. It can be a great asset, but also how to stay safe when you visit. Since our last meeting, April 23rd, our business hours are 8 a.m. to 8:30. We've had 183,000 beach visitors, 38 swimmers rescued by lifeguards, no drownings. Lifeguards conducted 531 preventative actions, 2,700, just about 2,700 public education contacts, 61 medical incidents, 6 ALS calls for paramedics. We had 1,100 law enforcement contacts and 8 Orange County Sheriff's deputies, or different times that deputies requested for assistance. May 10th, we had a reported drowning under Zero Tower. Ran a codex with all of our public safety agencies, OCSD, land units, Duke, Harbor Patrol, off-duty lifeguards, state lifeguards. Trevor Melosh assisted in that call with the park rangers as well. Ended up not being a real call. I mean, it was a real call when we first initial. Thankful for OCSD's follow-up with the witnesses. So they couldn't confirm or deny that they actually saw someone underneath the Zero Tower. May 17th, we had a group of 40 juveniles letting off fireworks at the base of the pier restrooms. OCFA and OCSD were requested by an unknown citizen. May 20th, there's a couple hundred kids down there. OCSD was called for that. They did a great job going down there. May 24th, 8:30 at night, we had about a couple hundred juveniles letting off fireworks down at T Street. Deputies went down there for that. So you can kind of see the trend. It's getting warmer, and towards the end of summer, beginning May 26th. We talked about that earlier with the shark incident. So we ended up that it was close to 8 o'clock on Sunday night, close to water for 24 hours. We're under advisory right now. Through the end of the day, reported 4 encampments, 4 graffiti incidents reported. So you can kind of see that there's been an uptick down at the beach, and Jay had his team of officers down there Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So thankful for that. So summer staffing levels, full summer staffing levels started this weekend. On weekends we have 26 lifeguards, and on weekdays we'll have 31 working. That's with when JG's is in full mode of June 10th. Right until then we'll have 23. Right now we're still not at full staffing just because kids get out of school at 12 o'clock on Thursday, but going in Friday we'll be fully loaded. Surf Surf-wise, we had a good swell, May 19th through the 22nd, southwest, with 4 to 6 feet. The water temperature ranging anywhere from 57 to 67 degrees since our last meeting. Air temps 54 to 62. Ran our last research class. It's a 2-day class for 18 hours for the last group of returning lifeguards. We're nearing the end of the substation being completed. A lot of the details have been finished, just a few little touches. We promoted 4 Ocean Lifeguard 2s to supervisor, so be training them tomorrow night. Our full-time staff provided sidewalk CPR for another group, since the first one was a big hit, and that shared with you guys. And been busy with the special events. We had a SCP on 427 at T Street for a surf contest, another SCP for a surf contest May 3rd through the 5th at the pier, and also on May 11th. The sand project, they approximately pumped 114,000 cubic yards out of the 251,000 cubic yards. They had to stop moving south because of the marker 3 and 4 of the Grunion, so they couldn't have any heavy machinery working below the high tide line. So then they flipped over to the north side, and they ended up, the Grunion were running, and they had spotters and they had marker 3s and 4s again. So they couldn't go any further north of the storm channel between HQ and the pier. So they were unable to go 500 feet further south and 500 feet further north of the projected project. They are supposedly coming back in November to deliver the remaining portion of the 251,000 cubic yards. About 114,000 cubic yards were delivered. The city is working on a scoop permit to get available sand that is free from the Santa Ana River from the Orange County Public Works. The city has to pay for transportation and the moving of the sand. So we'll find out that if that sand does come available, that will come in mid to late June and take potentially 50 working days to be open on the weekends, closed during the week at North Beach. So cross our fingers, we get some sand up there. The San Clemente Lifeguard and Junior Lifeguard Foundation approved about just over $16,000 in grants for lifeguards and junior lifeguards. And let's see, that is pretty much it for update from Marine Safety.
Can I ask you about the Grunion?
Sure.
How does that affect the sand being put in there?
Because the Grunion come up and they lay eggs,
Right.
so environmental reasons, you can't have heavy equipment to go down and disturb for a 2-week period.
So that's when they hatch and go back in the ocean after 2 weeks?
They come up and they lay their eggs, and the males come up and fertilize.
Right.
And they take about 2 weeks to develop into a little Grunion before they spread off. So if you have heavy equipment that disturb that
Gotcha.
process.
Okay. Not aware of the life cycle area
Yeah.
type thing. So, so later on this summer, we shouldn't have a problem with it, or they do the runs all the time?
They run throughout the year, but the sand project's done. The Army Corps project is done for this right now.
Right now?
Yeah, so they still have the dredge pipe on the south side of the pier. They have a staging area over there, and that staging area will be removed on the south side and the north side, and return that block wall at the base of the pier where you see the orange fencing.
Okay.
They'll return that. They're going to move the dredge pipe between the June 5th and June 7th, and then this Friday at 2 p.m. is a ribbing cutting hurrah for all the new sand. So the city's going to put on a little event at the base of the pier on the north side.
Great.
You're all welcome. The public's welcome to go down.
Put our feet in the sand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fluffy-
Fluffy sand.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm just going to comment, fluffy sand?
It's great sand. Yeah.
Great sand.
Yeah. A lot better than the first run in December.
With the rocks?
Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha.
So that the great sand comment kind of leads into my question: do we have any issue to be worried about the sand that's going to come from Santa Ana? Quality of it?
Leslie, the works for the city, the consultant that works for the city, they have different requirements, and it's all inspected in a certain grade. Yeah.
And then, second question: when they come back in November, do we know about how long it's going to take them?
I do not know the answer to that.
Whenever they can. Got it.
But I do know that OCTA, they had budgeted X $1 million worth of riprap, and the city's been pushing for sand versus riprap, and it's on the table. It's not finalized, but to bring in sand on the backside of our project before they put riprap.
Thank you.
Busy guy.
For the city, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
Busy guy. Okay, I'm gonna add a couple of things here to throw out. Scott Rober, one of our committeemen, has announced that he is not going to re-up for another term on the committee. So we're actually trying to solicit folks that can qualify for consideration, be a committee person. And the consideration is active or retired law enforcement or fire personnel. Okay.
Is that how it's written in the city's name?
Yes.
It is.
Right. And if they don't have the direct relationship to that, they're not qualified. Because they want specialists and people in the field that have that experience. The other one is at Capo Beach School District. I coordinated a tour of their EOC. I'm going to take the city manager and Rick Loeffler, council person. It's on June 10th at 1:30. I open it up to one other committee man if you're interested in seeing a real EOC that is static, set up all the time, ready to go. And it's just around the corner, around the Big Bend over here on 5. But it's quite a thing to see. We want to show, demonstrate to the city manager what a lot of money can buy on an EOC, and what an EOC looks like when they can put one together that can actually operate well. They've got a real good one.
No, I've seen that. My fair share of EOCs.
I'll definitely go.
Been there, done
And that's the one, but that's shared by the whole county, correct?
that. No, just the school district.
Oh, it's the school district's EOC.
Yeah, it's the Capistrano Unified School District, which services St.
Yeah,
Benedict.
it's right there by that Bonds dealership.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's up there.
June 10th.
June 10th at 1:30.
Mike
If you're interested, get in touch with me. Okay? Okay. Let's see. I'd like to hear from Adam, if you would, regarding the public safety department that could be available coming up on the budget.
Yes, so the draft budget was published last week, or the week before, for a budget workshop that occurred last Tuesday before the council meeting. It's set for the next, I believe the next city council meeting next week for adoption. In it, it laid out the public safety department, which basically has marine safety, OCSD, and OCFA all under the city manager. The new position for the emergency services coordinator is located in the budget. However, it's currently still under the public works department. That's where the funds for that position are currently located. And so the idea is that depending on the level of qualifications for that position, what what the city finally acquires in that position will sort of dictate how they're structured in the public safety department. But I know that that's the number one priority position for the city manager is getting that position filled as soon after July 1st as possible. I know at the coming up city council meetings, there were some questions from the council members previously about some other ways of looking at that position that will be addressed. So there's a little bit more to come on that, but the final, I'll say, makeup of that position and how it's located within the public safety department is one of the questions that will be answered in the next fiscal year.
Okay. Stay tuned, as they say.
Absolutely.
Be interesting. So at next city council meeting, they're adopting the budget or not? How does that work?
I believe so. The agenda still hasn't been published. It'll be published at the end of this week, so we'll know at that time. But I believe so.
Is the proposed budget online?
Yes.
Actually take a look at it.
Yeah, that was what was presented in the budget workshop last week.
Okay.
And there's a really good executive summary at the beginning. It's a relatively long document, about 300 pages or so. It covers a lot of information, but it's the Finance and Administrative Services Department, did a really good job this year of making the budget a little bit easier to follow. As easy as that document can be. So.
Okay, well, thank you.
And what was it that you said was going to occur after July 1st for them to start moving it in motion? To get finalized? Or
Yeah, so what's in the budget is the funding for a emergency services coordinator or management position. Once the budget is adopted, then the city manager's department and, thank you.
No?
The city manager's department and the Finance and Administrative Services will start putting together the actual job position, posting it, and to actually recruit. And then based on that recruitment, that will help determine what types of qualified candidates we get and what that position could really assist with as far as the overall public safety department.
So in a perfect world, what's the earliest the recruitment can go out, like August, September?
I don't. In a perfect world, it could be in August. Yeah. Typically, the council needs to approve. A few items related to job positions and salary schedules and things like that, but I don't know if that's going to be addressed in the budget or outside.
Okay.
You know, the key thing is that we absolutely got to get somebody
Correct.
full-time to do this stuff because we're way behind.
Well, my only concern, I don't know if this came up in the council meeting, is the way the position is structured, and depending on the hierarchy of how it is in the structure and what the pay scale is going to be, which I'm not asking for any numbers right now, it's going to dictate what type of person is going to apply for it, right? So being realistic, is it going to attract people that are retired from a previous job doing something similar, and it's a different pension system, or is it going to be enough to get somebody to come from another city to want to come do it here? I think that's going to be a big issue in recruitment.
It is. And there's salary studies on that, and I presented that to the city manager too. So.
Yeah, because I mean, given that most cities in California are PERS and we're PERS, that might limit our pool unless we're paying them enough to jump ship. Yeah,
They're always looking for, promotions. So it's the quality of the person.
Correct, yeah.
That's the money to buy.
Yeah.
Right. Good job.
That's the money that we have available.
the best that we could afford.
Yeah.
All right. Committee members. Mike, you have anything? Nothing?
I just want to thank all of our partners for a great job keeping everybody safe in the town. So thank you.
I want to thank Mr. Streeter for having that the highest percentage of attending this meeting. Anybody in the city, either on, working for the city or on the committee. Thank you.
Very true, Tom.
What a guy. What a guy.
It's like making diamonds, time and pressure, right?
City staff. Tanya? Nothing? Okay, any other, all right. So let me, call for adjournment. Let's see, our next regular meeting will be scheduled on Tuesday, June 25th at 3 p.m. at City Hall, City Council Chambers.
Move to adjourn.
Second,
I second that.
all in favor?
Aye.